Man, this movie was one hell of a ride. And I'm not talking about just the car chase scene for anyone who's seen it. But this is my first theatrical experience with a Paul Thomas Anderson film. And after watching this, I'm going to have to do a deep dive into his filmography because I've only seen this and Magnolia. And I know he's one of the most beloved filmmakers of the past, I don't know, what, 3 decades or however long he's been doing film. But yeah, maybe I should do a deep dive into his filmography and maybe do a video ranking all of his films, including this. But I just saw one battle after another over the weekend, and I'll pretty much watch anything with Leonardo DiCaprio in it. Oh, by the way, if you're new here, welcome to my channel. I'm All Nerd Everything, where I discuss your favorite things from film, TV shows, anime, comic books, etc., etc. But now that we got that out of the way, and if you want to nerd out with me, hit the subscribe button as well. It really helps my channel. But one battle after another is probably one of the best films of this year. Now, a lot of people hyped this film up before I even got the chance to see it, and I like to go see films myself just to form my own opinion whether or not the hype for a certain film is real. And best believe with this film, it certainly is. One battle after another tells the story of Leonardo DiCaprio and Tiana Taylor. They play a couple named Perfida Hills, that's Tiana Taylor's character, and Bob Ferguson, who's a couple, a part of this revolutionary group named French 75. But when Tiana Taylor's character Perfida is, goes on the run and essentially gets caught for being part of this for being part of the revolutionary group, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, he goes on the run. 16 years later, they capture his daughter, Willa, played by Chase Infinity, and he has to come out of retirement to rescue his daughter from a group of corrupt military officers. Now, first things first, I want to talk about Sean Penn. Sean Penn as Colonel Lockjaw in this film is a piece of shit. I hated him so much. I never hated a villain more than him. I wanted to punch him in the face so bad. It made my bones ache how much I despise his character. And he did a magnificent job in making me absolutely cringe and just want to rip his freaking bones out of his body. And probably one of the best movie villains I've seen in a long time. I mean, he was excellent. Leonardo DiCaprio, excellent as always, but the sound editing is great. I really like how this movie is shot because a lot of it feels kind of like an old western at times, and I really like that. The cinematography is great. The sound editing with a lot of the, pew pew shots. And the one thing I heard about this film was the performances of Regina Hall, Tiana Taylor, and Chase Infinity. And those three black women were praised for their performances. And while they did great, I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see more of Regina Hall and Tiana Taylor. Now, Regina Hall is only in the movie for about 10-15 minutes, and Tiana Taylor is in the movie for maybe the first 30 minutes, and then we don't see her again after that. She disappears. And I actually say that for Willa, I keep referring to her as her character, Chase Infinity, who plays Willa, Leonardo DiCaprio's daughter in the film, for her first major project to be a Paul Thomas Anderson film and to star alongside a giant like Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, she holds her own and she is magnificent. I think she's actually one of the best things about this movie. I think she had the best performance out of everyone. And surprisingly, despite the topics that this film talks about, from white supremacy to immigration to the fetishization of black women to postpartum depression and fatherhood, the movie is surprisingly really funny as well. I mean, there were certain scenes in this film that my whole theater was cracking up at, and it was just a fun ride. This movie is over 2.5 hours, but I it doesn't feel like that because I was so engaged with the story and with the characters. It's one of the best films of the year. But my faults with the film is pretty much what I named is Regina Hall and Tiana Taylor. They're barely in the film. Regina Hall's in it, like I said, 10-15 minutes. I think we could have gotten more with her character, and Tiana Taylor as excuse me, Tiana Taylor, she is magnificent. She's in it for the first, I'd say, 30 something minutes of the film, and I really wanted to see more of her character. I didn't feel like we got a closing chapter on her, on not only her character but also Regina Hall's character as well. It kind of felt open ended with both of them. So those are my biggest gripes with the films. It's not anything major, but it's a nitpick that I have. But on to the spoilers. Now, this is the spoiler section, so be warned if you haven't seen it, go watch the film and then come back to this. But for the rest of this is going to be spoilers. But Tiana Taylor, for her character, Perfida, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. Uh, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. But her character is supposed to is it a part of this revolutionary group, French 75, that fights against white supremacy. But there's a scene in the film where she kind of loses it and abandons Leonardo DiCaprio. Bob Ferguson is his character's name. She kind of abandons him and takes charge of the group, and she goes overboard and shoots a black officer when they're robbing a bank. I mean, not only does she shoot him, but she unalives him, and that is possibly one of the worst things that they could have done to her character, in my opinion. I mean, for someone that is supposed to, represent the little people, people of color, and fight against, white supremacy, for you to unalive a black man, even, I mean, no matter who he was or what profession it was, it just felt very out of character for her. And also, she rats on her on her revolutionary group, and because of her, a lot of them either get arrested or they get unalived. So that was very disappointing to see her character start off so written so strongly, and then the end of her character arc was kind of it didn't finish as strong as it started with her character arc, and we don't see her again for the rest of the movie. the I, the only thing we get is a letter that she writes to Willa, when Willa gets a letter that her dad gives her, that's from her mom, that he's been holding for what, years now. I don't even know how long it's been, but uh yeah, that was kind of dissatisfying. And Willa, um, oh god, Chase Infinity as Willa is magnificent. Like I said, one of the best things about this film. And I was actually expecting this to be very, gruesome and bloody, but it it takes its time with a lot of the violence, and barely it there isn't too much. It doesn't go over the top with any of the hardcore stuff, but there's a car chase scene towards the end of the film that is probably one of the best scenes of the movie. And the way Sean Penn's character, I mean, looks after his character gets involved in a car crash is, I mean, it had my whole theater cracking up because we were just like, how the hell is this dude still alive after he took a fall like that? I mean, he should have been dead. And the dude is a piece of shit. So the way he went out, I was expecting it to be more gruesome, considering how, how much of a piece of shit he was. But the fake out death was brilliant, and it's kind of funny seeing how he went out. I mean, that might seem mm, a little messed up, but if you see the film, you understand. And I think this is one of the best films of the year. Some people say that it's better than Sinners. Some people, I'm still back and forth. I still have a very weird feeling seeing Sean Penn's character, Colonel Lockjaw, fetishize black women, but the twist in the film involving him being Willa's father, I was like, oh God, this piece of S word forced himself on Willa's mother. I mean, I was absolutely disgusted to my. I felt like I wanted to throw up, and it's just, it's one of the most. It's one of the craziest freaking twists I've seen all year. It's a magnificent film, excellent. Excuse me, excellent storytelling, great performances all around. If we would have gotten more Tiana Taylor and Regina Hall, this movie would be damn near perfect. And if they would have cut out a lot of the, fetishization stuff, because it made me very uncomfortable as a black man. I don't know if that was intentional to have Colonel Lockjaw be like that, but sometimes not all. Sometimes a lot of your messages isn't gonna hit the way that you think it does. But overall, I think this movie is great. Aside from the lack of Regina Hall and Tiana Taylor and what they did to her character towards the end, I thought it was pretty damn great. I don't think it's better than Sinners, but it is still in my top 10 of the year. It's actually number 3 after K-pop Demon Hunters, and before K-pop Demon Hunters, it's Sinners. So this film gets 4.5 stars. But if you guys enjoy this, let me know your thoughts. Until then, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to stay updated with more movie, TV show, and comic book news and reviews.